We're just like nerd talking. So
Hailstorm has a comic out. Did you know that?
What?
Hailstorm has like a comic out, like a
I
comic.
had no idea.
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Oh, very cool. I love that. Well, hi, nice to meet you. I'm
Nice to
Elise.
meet you.
Sorry, I'm a little late. A couple
Oh,
of
you're
minutes.
totally fine. It's all good. Like we got a pretty loose schedule today, so we're good.
Right on.
So, do you guys want to get started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you for taking a few minutes to speak with me. I appreciate it. So, I mean, what's going on with the album release? Are you guys like planning a release date for a full length?
So we actually just went to Vegas to record with Kane Churko, he's written music for like In This Moment and Five Finger Death Punch, Disturbed, Ozzy. And we just wrote new music with him, but it was another EP. So it was a 5-song EP that was essentially with the goal in mind of we're going to be label shopping over
Okay.
right after the holidays. So they'll have first dibs. They'll listen first or whatever. We'll talk to labels and everything. But yeah, and then we're going to plan our release schedule. We'll probably make some music videos over the holidays, like over January or whatever, just so we can prepare for like when we're ready to release. We'll release those videos and the new music.
Well, it's like I think you guys are on a great track with that because it does keep the fans entertained in the meantime with something like you're always feeding them something else because people's attention span now is so short because a lot of bands are finding that the EP route or like the continuous release of here we're going to drop another single this that is like the perfect way to kind of gain the fan base and also keep yourselves relevant while you're like getting ready to do a full length as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that labels might be able to do like full length albums for artists that are already like they have huge, massive, fan bases and stuff. But most fans, they just listen to the songs they like or the singles that they like. They'll add it to their playlists and stuff. And so I think creating those singles and really focusing on, especially as a new band, we're trying to really expand our fan base. Right. And so I think just really driving home those singles and getting people's attention is our main goal.
Absolutely. You guys, excuse me. You just wrapped up a tour with, was it Pop Evil that you just wrapped the tour up with?
Yes.
So
Yeah. Pop Evil and Fame on Fire. We were on tour with them for
um,
4 weeks. Big tour up and down the East Coast for our first time, actually. Our tours
nice.
with New Year's Day and Atreyu took us along the West Coast and Midwest. And so that was a lot of fun to get to play far from home for sure. But getting to play with Pop Evil, especially around the corner, we played Charleston, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. And like I said, Ohio, Elise got to go back home and play for her hometown people.
That's
So
awesome.
it was a lot of fun for sure.
So what kind of touring plans do you have coming up, after the holidays?
So we do have a tour lined up. I don't think I'm allowed to announce it just yet because it's still like, so soon. But it's going to happen end of February and all of March. And it's with some pretty big headliners. Maybe we can tell you after the interview isn't recording anymore.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
we'll be announcing it very soon. So yeah, just stay tuned with like our Facebook and our Instagram, our lilac.com and stuff. We'll announce the tour once we have it solidified.
That is awesome. Definitely awesome. So how much material do you have ready to go? Like I know that you guys, releasing a lot of singles. Like, so do you have like a stockpile of material or the things that like have bits and
Kind of.
pieces?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. Like our first EP we recorded with Mike Plotnikoff at West Valley Studios in California. And so Howard Benson owns that studio and he's worked with like 3 Days Grace and Hailstorm and My Chemical Romance, so many others. But we loved how the first EP turned out. And so we actually went back to work with Mike Plotnikoff like earlier in the year, just to like, I guess, develop, create a couple songs just to have on the back burner as like in between singles. So we have a few of those still that we haven't released. Plus we have all the new Kane Sherko music. So yeah, and not only that, but like when we were working with Kane and Cam, they got along so well, and they like, Cam is very like sound driven and creating like unique weird sounds that don't sound like right now, they sound like 3 years from now, and then adding some guitar in there and stuff like that to still make it a rock song. And Kane is the same mindset, and they were like two peas in a pod with their synth. And so when we showed Kane this giant arsenal of all these other songs that we haven't even recorded. So that's just those are the songs we've recorded. We're ready to release them, right? But we have a huge folder of just other songs, song ideas that, I guess fueled Kane, and Kane was like, oh, I love a lot of these. And we had to kind of drill them down to just choose the 5 that we recorded with Kane. But there's still a lot that can be grabbed as well.
That's so exciting. And it's like awesome that you have like that much of an arsenal too to pick from. I'm sure it's like picking between your children. Like, I love this one, I love that one. Like,
So that was actually the cool thing about this tour with Pop Evil, is that we basically premiered all of these or most of these new songs to these new crowds. So we got to get the immediate feedback of like, okay, these are my babies, but which one do you guys think is the prettiest one?
yeah.
And so to do that on tour and really get the immediate feedback of the crowd and like, what do you guys want to hear more of? So we've had people reaching out to us being like, no, this is the one I need released, or I need to hear that. Or people were already singing along to completely brand new songs just because of the way we were able to write them with Kane. Like, he helped us, make them so catchy and just bring a whole new element of what we're trying to do with our sound. And it seems that people are really digging it, so it's going really well.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like I don't want to call myself a music snob, but like I can be. But I mean, honestly, like when I first heard you guys, I said I love that you are not afraid to blur genre and mix genre, and you don't fit in one box of any kind. And I think that's awesome. From a creative standpoint, it allows you guys so much more space to kind of go, okay, we could try this and be experimental. And I said, this is like one of the first bands I've actually added to my Amazon list. And I'm like, I love it. Just you guys are great, absolutely great.
Thank
And
you so much.
how important is keeping that, to not feel boxed in.
Oh,
Well,
so
I don't know if you want to talk about crawl space like first, but then and then kind of go into like where we went with Kane. I think maybe so I'll start with crawl space, and then Oscar can get into like all the new stuff. So we just released a new single called Crawl Space, and um that was one of the songs that we went to LA. We went back to LA to record with Mike Plotnikoff, and we wanted to, I guess, expose ourselves to writing with other people. And we wanted to expose ourselves to writing with other people. And so we got together with like a guy named Tommy Kane, and then also Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Dead Man. I don't know
Okay.
if you know Theory of a Dead Man. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Crawl Space actually was on one of the days we were writing with Tyler. And I think going into it, a lot of people anticipate like, okay, well, here's a lot of bands that I know that have rap and rock. So we should either, kind of be, somewhat like their sound, or like we'll create something like that, instead of catering to us and our unique skills. And so Tyler was very like open to like, allowing us to write and stuff. But I think at the beginning it was like not a bad first date. It was like, it was a date, the date trying to get to know each other,
Right.
because he has such a strong voice. I mean, an amazing voice, but it is a very strong voice. And so to be able to still be unique to Lilac and have our own voice, when you have such a huge voice in the room with such a prominent sound that sounds nothing like Lilac, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
trying to be able to either mold those together or be able to allow him to hear our sound and be, instead of us being inspired by his sound, which is so different, him be inspired by our sound, and be able to give us tips and tweaks and stuff like that to what we're creating instead of the other way around. And I think it was a really good exposure to us to work with other people in the industry and just other writers in general, and be able to solidify a voice for ourselves when we only have a day to write a song, like one day. Because later on in Vegas, we were going to go to Vegas for 6 weeks to write and record with Kane Churko, and going from writing with one person one day, and having to do that struggle and that that work, that drains you for a whole 6 weeks, was going to be another beast. So Oscar, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and definitely bouncing off kind of what Elise was talking about working with professionals who kind of understand what we're trying to do. And even within like you're saying, melding genres, like even within that scope of rock rap groups or groups who have melded genres like that in the past, we're still like, okay, you guys are doing that kind of similar thing as well. Like, this is what you're supposed to sound like. So we'll like put you in this like box of, you sound like all the other rock rap groups who are out right now, and like Elise was saying, Cam, our keyboardist and producer at home, working with Kane, these crazy music scientist minds that came into this space to come up with these amazing, incredible landscapes for us to just kind of work within, and for Elise and I to write our lyrics within, just absolutely exploded. It was a whole new way for us to honestly understand music writing, because Kane gave us the space available to really explore not only like who we thought we were and what we're trying to sound like, but who potentially we're trying to be, right? Like the evolution of what Lilac is trying to be, kind of like Elisa saying, for the next 3 years, because Cam otherwise is making those sounds regardless. He's trying to sound like 5 years from now. So we're trying to keep up. And getting to do that with Kane was an incredible experience. He, like Lee said, we spent 6 weeks, really intensive, 9 hours a day in the studio, working on lyrics, working on just the composition, making sure everything melded right. And I think getting to explore the way we're trying to kind of meld all these different genres of rap and rock and electronic and all these different notions of what these are supposed to sound like to what we are exploring has been really, really cool so far.
Well, and also, like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, honey, go ahead.
So with like, also I think Kane, he found out our talents. I think at the beginning, it like he explored what we came up with, and like how we sing, and like what our interests are. And I think what's interesting is, so Oscar was writing very like modern type raps that aren't normal for the rock genre. And so like, normally other producers might be like, oh, I'll try to rap a little bit more like Mike Shinoda, or like Against the Machine, Limp Bizkit, things that we've heard before, and try to change your rap to be a lot like that kind of cadence. But I think Oscar was just like, Kane was just like, oh, that sounds great. Yeah, you should do that. And so like he embraced Oscar making like modern raps, and was just like, we'll just add guitars to it later. It'll sound like a rock song. It'll be fine. And then with me, like I love showing off like vocal dynamics, like, and being able to go from loud to soft, and from like low to high, and like belting dynamics to a head voice. I like playing around with vocal skill, and if I got to practice the song, it's fun to me. And so anyway, that you don't normally get that with, other than Chris Cornell. I mean, Chris Cornell was a freaking legend, and he had a lot of vocal dynamics. But a lot of modern bands now, I don't think play with with a lot of those vocal dynamics, and I think that's why it kind of limits the rock genre, and so Kane was just like, all right, I want you to show off your skill. Let's do this. It doesn't need to be like a rock song. We'll make it a rock song. I want you to just shine and be yourself. And so like there was like one of the songs that like, you know, the music like it paused and it had an instrumental break, and he was like, Elise, I want you to do some crazy Christina Aguilera shit right here. And I was like, okay, let's do this, you know. And so it was a lot of fun for me to be able to play around with my natural voice and like what I like to do. And then we just, you know, we molded it into a Lilac Rock song. And that was so cool to be able to experience a producer like that. So cool.
It's amazing that you guys had that kind of chemistry, and it sounds like you guys are open to learn and accept the feedback, and you know, he's allowing you the creative freedom to be yourselves, but also, you know, it just seems like it's a good synergy. I'm gonna use that word like between you guys. So it's gonna be awesome to hear like what comes out of everything.
Well, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and we're also incorporating more technology as well. So I think we should talk about that. Like one thing that so my regular day job, I'm a computer hacker, okay?
Right.
And I know sometimes I guess I experience issues with turning off my logic brain and becoming part of like, yeah, okay, I'm emotional now. I need to write emotionally, you know? And sometimes I struggle with my emotional switch, depending on, you know, if I'm going through something traumatic or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of other people have that same issue where they kind of dissociate away from their feelings when they're hurt. And anyway, so I for some reason was just on this kick where like feeling very like just barely human and feeling like more like we're becoming more AI. And it was right at the time where Kane and Cam were both talking so much about like artificial intelligence and how it's driving the creative world and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and how it could be used so much as a tool going forward for like not only music writing but also like, you know, just visuals. And we are Into Nothing music video, we for some reason our video director, we've used him, you know, for like Perfect Drug and Undertow. He's great. Scott Hansen, he works with Digital Thunderdome, he's great. We had a weird idea for Into Nothing that was going to, we wanted like this evil like circus kind of or evil carnival kind of thing that would provide a service to people of dangerous games of life or death. So if you
Mhm.
felt so numb that you needed to like explore dangerous thrills in order to feel something, anything, that this circus can provide that for you. You said, you know, but there might be people dying on the game, and then they just like pull the dead body off and say, all right, step on up, next person, right?
Yeah.
So it was like a crazy concept, but we didn't want it to just be like, ooh, scary movie, look, you know, it's dreary, you know, like
Yeah.
dark and scary. We wanted it to have like this uncomfortable, uh, different, unique thing to it, that made you feel uncomfortable, but also very vibrant and colorful and weird. And so Cam thought of like, what if it looks like a cyberpunk neon kind of circus,
Yeah.
but with really, you know, like dangerous intentions. You know what I'm saying? And so we were like, oh, how are we going to tell that to Scott? How are we going to let the video director like visualize that so he can make the landscapes for us? And so Cam started using AI to make the visuals. He was just
Oh,
typing
okay.
in the colors, neons, and landscape, whatever he wanted, and he was coming up with these crazy. It was spitting out these crazy images that look scary and unique and unreal, and it worked. And so since that worked really well for Into Nothing, and Scott was able to create our vision for the video, we were like, okay, we need to lean into this. And so we talked to Kane about it, and a lot of our songs were very like digital age, moving to this out of human like you know, thing. You know, we're becoming more AI, and we're embracing technology more. And so our live set, Cam started using it instead of, so we have these light towers on each side of the stage that show like they have a TV that has wireless HDMI. So as
Okay.
as the music is going and the clicks are in our ears and we're playing, it is actually sending like in the past it would just send like our logo and some static images and stuff to the TVs, you know, so that we have like little video visuals on each side of the stage. But during the Pop Evil tour, we're doing these new songs, baby. We're doing this new technology age, you know, we're barely human now. And so we changed the video visuals to be AI. And so Cam created, he used AI to make these like crazy cityscapes that we're adapting with our lyrics and with colors and everything like that, to where every single song was just digitally stimulating to that song. And it was, and it's adapting and it's growing, and they're beautiful and it's insane. Every single song is different.
That's amazing too. I mean, it's, you know, when AI is used in the right way, it could be such a tool. You know, I know you hear so much fear about it, you know, that everybody's like, oh, AI is gonna take over everything. But you know, when artists can use it in a way that's creative and beneficial, it's amazing what you can do with it.
Yeah. And Cam is such a mad scientist, you know? So you give him something that interests him and he's just like, it's been insane seeing some of the things we've been creating.
Absolutely. And I see you were on my favorite game show.
Oh, is that your
Ah,
favorite game
I want
show?
to go on so bad.
Really?
I do.
Send me, so the producer just reached out to me asking if I have anybody that I would recommend for the next season. So if you
Yes.
text me your name and phone number, and I'll send it to the producer because she's looking for people for the next season.
Oh
But
my
anyway,
God. That's like
I
my dream.
oh my God. So don't judge me too harshly. Like I wish that it was like a regular rock song, or any rock song other than, oh man, I don't want to give it away to the
Yeah.
fans. But like, I mean, I'm glad I made money. So
Great.
for whoever's listening, I was on Don't Forget the Lyrics. And I'm actually the season finale, which is kind of crazy, you know, like
Yeah.
the last season, I'm the I got the season finale spot, which is
There you
crazy.
go.
But like, yeah, like the music plays, and then and you're singing along, and then the music stops, and you have to fill in the words, the
Yeah.
blanks, in order to make money. And at first, it's just like, you know, 3 or 4 words, you know, and it might be out of the chorus, which would be, you know, easy, you
That's
know, that, right?
ideal.
That's ideal. But then later on, as it gets harder and harder, now you're doing 9 words out of the second verse. And you better hope that you know that song. Because if you don't know that song, you're just kind of like, do I hum along? Like, I don't know any of these words. So it's kind of a luck of the draw for sure. What the guy after me, the guy who went after me got an Aerosmith song. I was so jealous.
Ah.
So jealous. I know Aerosmith way more than I know ZZ Top, but ah,
That's awesome though. Definitely exciting.
thank you.
What do you guys have planned for the holidays?
Ah,
Work.
Work.
Elise does not let us rest for long.
no, I'll give them a little bit of break. You know, after tour, everybody kind of, you know, becomes one with their couch. You know,
Yeah.
you,
I can,
you
yep.
sink back into like real life. But then yeah, I think we're gonna need to. Oscar and I have already started talking about when we're gonna get back together to start creating the TikToks and everything like that, so we can still
Nice.
give people content during the holidays. And then I you we I'm meeting up with our manager and next week actually, in order to be able to talk to, you know, about labels and things like that. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of that discussion like behind the scenes. And then we're also creating music videos, like hopefully in January and stuff, we can get those in the book, so that we're gonna and we never do music videos half-ass. So like,
You're like,
we
we're all
always,
in. Like,
oh my God, have you seen any of our music videos?
yes, they're
Oh,
amazing. Amazing. Like
thank
you, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. But we put a lot of thought into the entire video and into like costumes and everything that will just like drive it over the top, because it's not just about a music video, because you can stand there in a black shirt, black t-shirt and a black pair of jeans and just do
Yeah.
your thing, you know. But like I don't know, we like Perfect Drug, you know, I had like these customized, you know, like icicle corsets with these huge ass crowns, and Oscars, you know, rocking crowns, and we're just like every outfit was very intentional and very different.
Oh yeah, it's the visual. That's what sticks with people and makes it memorable. And like go back, even like, I'm here at my day job now. I was showing my co I'm like, you gotta see this band. Like I said, so I was just showing her the videos too.
Oh, I
So it's
love
really
that.
good, really good.
So cool, so cool. Yeah, so I have no idea like how we're gonna even what are we gonna do next, Oscar, to
I
top
know.
what
So
we've
I was
done?
thinking about that because we've set the bar so high for ourselves from the very beginning. It's like, oh, okay, let's just like keep going further and drown ourselves in all these visuals and costumes and graphics. And but I'm super excited for it, especially kind of like Elisa saying, we're coming up with all these super cool ideas with AI, and everybody's super creative in the band in their own right. And I mean, she has purple hair, so that's cool. Uh,
Lilac, it's lilac.
lilac hair.
Yeah.
And so I just love. I think we've had a amazing opportunity to work with a really cool group of people in our band and Digital Thunderdome so far, and I'm so excited for. I'm excited for the release of these new songs. I absolutely love them. Listen to them almost every day, and what we're going to do with the video. So it's going to be ridiculously over the top. If you liked what we've been putting out so far, this is going to be, I mean, absolutely next level.
That's awesome. Well, I absolutely can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you so much.
course.
I
Thank
will
you for having us.
You're welcome. I will turn my recording